Today's country and your all-time favorites, 95.1 The Bull. Our community conversation this morning brought to you by Floyd County Medical Center at fcmc.us.com. Joining me in the bullpen this morning beside me, our new Hampton Police Chief, Conrad Rosendahl. Chief, thanks a lot for joining me here this morning.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Good to have you here. First time here in the bullpen. So good to have the face to go with the name and having you join us here as we move forward. So
I appreciate that. You know, my grandma used to always tell me that I had a face for radio. I never knew what she meant for that until I got older. So.
Yep. I got the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
I got the same thing as well. So let's kind of dive into, of course, the last thing we talked about, you and I together, was about the Faith in Blue event. How did that go for you?
Yeah, you know, the wind was not cooperative with us that day. It was awful windy, so we weren't able to get the bouncy houses set up for the kids and whatnot. But with that aside, we had a wonderful crowd that showed up. Right away, there was well over 100 people in attendance, and I would say that's successful when you starting a new event.
And this would be something that can grow exponentially as the years grow on, right?
I sure hope so. Working in conjunction with the pastoral council and the churches in town, I've got the positive feeling that they thought this went well and they would like to build off of this now going forward. So
very good. So let's kind of dive into what we're here to talk about here for today, as we're kind of making this sort of a monthly thing with you here, Chief, on behalf of the New Hampton Police Department. What is one topic that we would like to discuss for today?
Sure. Well, before we jump into that, I just want to go back to the Faith in Blue quick. Mm-hmm. I just want the sponsors and the people that donated to that event to know that it was much appreciated. And with their donations, we did raise $1,636.75 in proceeds that will all be donated to our local schools to go towards the delinquent lunch accounts. So
thank you for that. Absolutely. So what do we would like to talk about for today, Chief?
So I just want to jump out on a reminder on the topic of child restraints. Patrolling the school zones in the morning. It's been brought up to me a few times by different individuals around the school, and going to a witnessing of people dropping off children that aren't in seat belts or maybe not even in booster seats. And at some time had even brought up that there was some children that were sitting on parents' laps in the front seat of the vehicle. And I get it, in our community, you may only live a few blocks away from the school or something. So, you jump in quick and get the kids to school and come back. And unfortunately, accidents can still happen, even at slower rates of speed, within a couple blocks of your house. So I just want to remind people to make sure that you're buckling your children up, you're putting them in the appropriate seats. Iowa law recommends that children ages 1 to 6 must be secured in a restraint system, whether it's a car seat or a booster seat, that not depending just on the seatbelt. Once they get older than that, they still have to be in a seatbelt, and it's recommended that they ride in the back seat until the age of 13. So it doesn't seem like a real big deal, but with winter coming right around the corner, even at slow speeds, if we've got slippery roads, I would hate to see a child get injured by an airbag that was deployed because they weren't sitting correctly or correctly buckled in. And it is a $287.88 citation to the driver of a vehicle who has children in the car that are unsecured. So that's a lot of money to me. I don't know.
But I would think so too, because that's a good chunk of rent when you think about it. For a lot of those who do rent in the area there, that's a big chunk of change.
and even, God forbid, if an airbag does deploy and a child is injured and it's due to the neglect of properly buckling them in, they could potentially also be looking at a criminal charge for child endangerment. And we don't want to have to see that happen with anybody. So I just want a reminder that when the importance of seatbelts and child restraints when taking kids not only to and from school, but anywhere in a vehicle.
Speaking with Chief Conrad Rosendahl joining us from New Hampton Police Department on 95.1 The Bull. Again, reminder on child restraints when going pretty much anywhere from point A to point B is something we definitely want to keep in mind. Also, as you mentioned, booster seats, there's also that thing that we have to keep in mind too. They have to be a certain height, a certain age, right, for those for booster seats.
Yeah,
right?
so by Iowa law, 6 years and under have to be in either a booster seat or a car seat. Older than 6, if they're over 40 pounds, then they can just sit in the seat itself, but still have to be buckled in with the seatbelt. But prior to age 6, they're required to have an other harness device other than the seatbelt itself. So.
And the same rule does apply if that is noticed. The fine, is that the same thing when it comes to those in booster seats as well?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. All right. And now if we wanted to read further into the literature when it comes to the child restraint law, is there a place we can go for that, or we can reach out to you about that information?
You can go online. You can just Google Iowa child restraint laws. You can also go to Iowa Governor's Traffic Safety Bureau. You can Google that as well. They have tons of information on proper ways of
further in educating you on that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Weights and heights and ages and all that stuff is in there. There's a huge information out there, a lot of information out there covering that. So.
For sure. So now, again, any further information for you there, Chief, there at the New Hampton Police Department? Of course, we know 911 if an emergency, but maybe a non-emergency related thing. We wanted to reach out to you about something, maybe some general questions for you. How can we get a hold of you?
Absolutely. You can reach out by, you can email at NHPD at
that would be, I'll help you on that one. I actually have that in front of me there. That would be chief@nhpd.ia.gov. Correct?
So, but we do have yes, that is my personal. You can reach out on that, but there is one. So it's just NHPD.
Yeah.
At Iowa.
And we could also reach out, of course, City of New Hampton as well, at the office there for questions.
Office there. You can reach out to us on Facebook. You can reach us through the non-emergent number at Chickasaw County Dispatch. They can get us a message or get us a number to give you a call back at. Correct.
Absolutely. So anything else we'd like to talk about? Final notes before we part ways this morning?
I don't think so. I just, with the winter coming and obviously with rut being in the deer season, we've touched on those things. I think enough that just be prepared when the weather does start coming, and make sure that your prized possession of your children are also secure and safe when out and traveling, especially to and from school. But like you said, anytime you leave. So
yeah, and make sure maybe you drive maybe a little bit under the speed limit. Just watch out for those deer.
Correct.
Yeah. So, Chief, thanks a lot for joining us here on behalf of New Hampton Police Department, and be safe out there. We look forward to talking with you again soon.
Appreciate it.
You
Have
bet.
a wonderful day.
You bet. Chief Conrad Rosendahl here on the Morning Roundup 95.1 The Bull. Our community conversation brought to you by Floyd County Medical Center, fcmc.us.com.